technology, give learners a thrill. Deep Dive Monday to the tech solutions.
Okay, we can go ahead and get started. I'd like to welcome everyone to our Deep Dive Monday. Today we're going to look at being creative with Canva, using the AI tools in Canva to help us with student editing and revision. If you haven't already done so, you can make sure you register for the session. The number is 401097. The link is also in the chat, so if you just click on the link, you can also check in with the remote check-in code PSJA Tech. If you have questions, please ask those in the chat. Valentine's along with us. He'll help answer those, or we can answer them as we go. Just have fun doing some learning with us, and we will share the link to the slides. So you will have access to these slides, so you can check on the links and the information here. Our objective today is by the end of this session, we are going to be able to create a Canva generated revision activity for students to work on, and a before and after revision activity, and create an AI powered peer review simulation. So the first activity we're going to look at, I'm going to go through the slides, and then you will have these steps. We'll share these slides with you. And then once I go through all the slides, then we will actually go into Canva and show exactly how to create some of these activities. So the first one is on editing, and we know the STAR asks us to do editing and revision. So I don't know if this is exactly like STAR mode, but any editing that the students can learn, of course, will help enhance their learning. So we're going to use the AI tools in Canva to help us generate a paragraph. And we don't want it to be a perfect paragraph because, of course, we want them to be able to edit. So what you're going to do is you're going to open a doc in Canva, and we're going to use the Magic Write. That's one of the AI tools in Canva. So we're going to type a prompt. Now this is an example. Of course, you can make it anything you want to. It can go with any kind of a topic you're working on. But write a flawed paragraph about why teamwork is important. Include run-on sentences, vague wording, and weak transitions. So you can add anything you want your students to work on in editing. You can change that prompt to have it create something that works with the kind of editing you want the students to do. Then Magic Write will produce a paragraph that needs revising. That will be perfect for your practice. And of course, if you don't like the first paragraph it gives you, you can do a second one, or a third, or even a fourth. And then the next step is to turn the paragraph into a worksheet. So in Canva, we can select a worksheet template, and I'm going to show you how to do that. And then you can paste that paragraph that was created into a text box, and then add some instructions like identify and revise unclear sentences, fix grammar and better transitions, and rewrite the paragraph to improve clarity and flow. And then you can give the students a little checklist of different things to check. Make sure for, check for capitalization and punctuation, sentence structure, word choice, transition. So give them some tips on what to check for in the editing. So then you're going to actually share that document with the students, and there's a couple different ways we can do that, and I will show you how to do that as well. And the students will duplicate the document and revise the paragraph. So they'll actually have the document in Canva. They can work on it to do that revising. So to share that in Canva, we can create a template link that you can share with them, maybe in their Google Classroom. Or you can also actually send it directly to the Google Classroom, which will connect with Canva. So when we go live, I'll show you all that. So this was just an example of, here was the paragraph that the Magic Write came up with. And then here was the worksheet that I created. I pasted the paragraph here and I put the directions and a little place for their name. It kind of got skewed up here with my presentation, but you can kind of see that the name is there. So you can design the worksheet as much as you want to or as little as you want to. So then the next activity is for revising. So it's going to be very similar to the one we just did, but this is going to be a before and after revision activity. And the first step here is to create a rough draft in Canva using AI prompt Magic Write again. Here's our prompt that we're going to use. Write a paragraph about the benefits of reading, but make it sound like a 6th grader's rough draft with mistakes in grammar, awkward sentences, and missing details. Now, of course, you can use any prompt you want to. Again, if you're working on certain areas and revising, you can include that in your prompt so it will give you a better rough draft of what you're looking for. And then the step 2 will be use Magic Design to create a visual comparison sheet. Pick a 2-column layout and label the columns, original draft and revised draft. So now we're adding this Magic Design tool in Canva. And then we're going to share this again with the students. So we want the students to revise the style and clarity. Students rewrite the paragraph in the 2nd column. And then the 4th step is for them to do a reflection prompt. Below the boxes include what changes did you make and why, and how did revising improve the clarity of your writing. So here's a sample of what that might look like. So this was the paragraph that the Magic Write wrote. So then we went and created a Magic Design. So Magic Design in Canva created this nice looking worksheet. It had the original draft on this side. And then this is where the students can revise. Now, when Canva designed this, it did not include my paragraph here. I did go ahead and paste my paragraph, but it gave me this little description at the top, which I can use or I could change if I didn't like it. I liked what it said, so I kept it there. And then here is your follow-up, those questions to ask, what changes did they make and why, and how did the revising improve the clarity? So then the students can actually type in their answer on this document. So again, we're going to share that with them. In Canva, there's the little share, the up arrow. And again, you can do a template link or you can assign it. So here you can actually get a link to assign it if you want to put it in Google Classroom and just create your own assignment and give the students the link. You can actually assign it in Google Classroom and connect your Google Classroom to Canva. So you can do that. Now, it does give the student their own copy. So they're not all working on the original one that you created. So when you send it to Google Classroom, it forces them to make a copy. And then the third activity that we're going to look at creating is making a peer review. Now, this is perfect when you want your students to practice giving feedback. So maybe this is actually not using student work. This is creating a peer writing so they can practice giving feedback. So this might be a good activity to start with before using actual student work and having the students peer review their own classmates. So this could be like a practice before you actually start that. So here you create a student writing prompt. Example, write a short narrative, 6 to 8 sentences about a surprising moment. Step 2, use Canva AI to generate sample student responses. Ask Magic Write. Give me 3 sample student drafts responding to this prompt. Each draft should include strengths and weaknesses. So here you're generating like peer work, samples of peer work. And then you're going to turn these drafts into a peer review worksheet and add sections like what works well in this draft, what needs improvement, rewrite a stronger sentence below, revise the entire paragraph. So depending on what you want them to do, if you want them to do a couple of these tasks or all of them, that will be up to you. And then students practice giving the feedback. So the students analyze the draft and complete the revision task. So there's no actual peer writing needed here. This is Canva's creating that peer writing for you. So I kind of like this before they start actually maybe reviewing with their peers. It gives them a little sample. So here I just included one of the sample drafts. It did create 3. And then here is the worksheet that they will go through to revise or look at that sample and not revise, excuse me, give some peer feedback. So just some different writing activities that you can create using Canva. There's also extra Canva things you can do with AI, just some examples of like have students ask Magic Write to generate some synonyms if they're having trouble using always the same words. That can help them get some different synonyms to use. They can ask Magic Write to show clear versions of confusing sentences, so they can actually type a sentence and ask Magic Write to help them improve. They can compare the revision with AI suggestions and justify their choices. So these are just some extra add-ons that they might be able to use with those AI tools in Canva. They can also maybe use Magic Design and visuals to create editing posters, step-by-step revision slides, maybe some anchor charts that show strong words versus weak words. So just some different ideas of how to use that. And then Canva also has an ability to maybe make drag and drop activities, use Canva's elements to build fix the sentence manipulatives, strong activities, comma rules, transition words, strong verbs. So it does a lot. A color-coded rubric. Canva, like we're just doing the tip of the iceberg here. It has lots of different ways you can use it with your students. This is one of the newer ones, is a Magic Activities. So you can actually ask it to create an activity for you. You can explore the activities. You can write in kind of what you're looking for, or you can explore what they already have as prompts and then make your own activities. This was an activity where the students learn how stories change when we revise. Students map the steps and use to revise the story about Max the dog. So this gives you like the teacher. It's very tiny here, but I did include the template link in the slide so you can actually see the whole thing. But this is like the thought process the students can go through with writing. So I thought, well, it's kind of some neat activities that they have here. So this is called Try Magic Activities, and I'm going to show you that today as well. So lots of cool things in Canva. There's links here. I'm going to go ahead and exit out of the presentation, and we're going to go into Canva and take a look at how to do all of these things that I just showed you. So let's go back to the first one, which was creating a student, which was creating the Magic Write to generate the revision activity. Sorry about that. So I'm going to come up here and I'm going to open a doc. So if you're on the home, and you can always go back home by clicking on home here, I'm going to come over here and open a doc in Canva. And once you open it, you'll see this little plus sign right here. This is a quick actions tool, and it gives you the AI tools, some of the AI tools and other tools also that you can use. So we're going to click right now on Magic Write, and we're actually going to just enter the same prompt that I had on the sheet there for you. So we are going to ask for the flawed paragraph about why teamwork is important. So we're just going to click on this little purple arrow, and it's going to give us our paragraph. And it makes it all cutesy, kind of, we'll just insert that. Now, we're actually going to copy this because we want to make it into a worksheet. So we're just going to go ahead and copy that. And then we're going to actually go back home. And we're going to go to where it says Education. And we're going to look for Worksheet. So I just want a blank worksheet. You can come down and find all the education templates I have. And if you click on See More, it shows you so many. But for today, we're going to look at the blank one. I'm just creating a worksheet. And we're going to just add a text box. And really, I think you can just copy your paragraph. So we're going to paste our paragraph here. I'm going to make it a little smaller. So it fits. You can change the text box and all that. And so now you're making that into a worksheet. If you don't want it centered like it is, you have your tools up here. I like to write just left justify everything. And then we can come in and we can put our instructions. And you just build your worksheet. So it's just as simple as, you know, moving around, just kind of like a Word document. And you can add some pictures and that type of thing if you so choose. And I'm going to put our tasks up here. Then I want our little checklist. You can also kind of drag the box, and that also makes it bigger or smaller. You can come over here on the left-hand side to your elements. Maybe you want to look for a checklist picture. And you can add, you know, a little checklist or, you know, kind of jazz it up a little bit. You can make it as cute as you want to. You can have a name space. I don't know if that's what it's called, but, or a name, I can just put name. See what, I don't know what I put last time. And then you can add, oh, I added too many of those, so of course I'll delete a place for their name if you want to make it cutesy. And then you have your worksheet ready to go to share with your students. And now, if you come over here to share, this is where you can make templates or share with your students. So over here, if you go to select all, it can give you all the different options that you have. If you want to make a template link, I'm just going to click here. And now I'm going to create the template link. What this does is it just makes a template. So now if I paste this into the chat with you all, you can click on it and you will be able to click on that and you will have a template. So you could just take that, copy that link, and you can share that in Google Classroom with your students. Okay, the other way is you can take it directly to Google Classroom. I don't know if this one's giving me that option. It doesn't look like it is, so I don't know why. I guess some things do. I know the other one did. It's not giving me that option here unless I didn't, here we go. I just had to scroll down. Sorry, it's Monday afternoon. So here you go. If you don't see that, you just scroll down until you do, and here's the Google Classroom connection. And so if you're going to Google Classroom, of course, you have to find the class that you're sharing with, and if there's a section, or you can have it create an assignment, and you would go directly to your Google Classroom and fill out just like if you were creating an assignment in Google Classroom. So I'm not going to complete that, but you get the gist of how that works. Okay, so that is creating a revising activity in Canva. Pretty simple and kind of neat. So the next activity, and if you have any questions, just let us know in the chat, and we'll be happy to assist with that. Okay, so the next one we're going to do is the before and after activity. So again, I'm going to start with a doc. And this one I want to get a paragraph so that they can revise it. I'm going to click on my little plus sign and go to my Magic Write, enter my prompt. And I did this one for 6th grade. Of course, it was already in the prompt. I should have changed that to be more elementary, but that's okay. If you're secondary, this works too. You basically can put whatever grade you want,
everyone,
and of
we
course
had some
change the prompt to
difficulties
make
with
it
the magic
fit to what
design.
you're doing.
So I'm going to
So
insert this
if you
new little
like
video
this, it
into
can give you
our
more or less. You
current
can kind of play
training
with
just
it
to show how that
and
works.
ask it to change
Hopefully
it
it
up a
will
little
work for
bit. We're
us
going to
today
take
at this
that
point.
as is for
We
time
left off with the
purposes.
before and after
And then
after
we're
activity.
going to now
And we are
use
going
Magic
to
Design
get back
to
to our
create the
Magic
visual
Write, and we had our prompt
comparison.
about writing a paragraph for us that sounds like a 6th grader. It's a rough draft with mistakes in grammar, awkward sentences, and missing details. That way the students, this will be the before, this will be the paragraph that they have, and then we want to see after the students will actually revise this paragraph and give a revision. So we'll see the before and then the after. So we're going to add that in. And now we're going to come over to the design section here. Over here on the left-hand column, we're going to click on design. And here we're going to ask this to create a worksheet for us of what design we want. We want to have a 2-column, create a worksheet with 2-column layout and label the columns for us with the original draft and the revised draft. We also want the students to be able to revise the draft in the space that is in the revise. And then we have some questions that we want to ask. So we'll see if that comes up with a little template for us. It does give some template and designs. If you happen to find what you like, you can use those. It doesn't usually give you specifically what you ask for here until you generate your design. So we're going to generate a design. And so it has given us this little worksheet. So we'll just make it bigger, and we're going to add it as a new page to our draft. And now we have our original draft and our revised. Now, of course, we don't have the draft here, so we're going to go back to our first page. And we're going to copy our draft. We can come back then to our worksheet, and if we space down, we can paste our draft there. So now, and you can add, here you can put the name on here, you can revise in style, if you want to change the directions, you can, change that. But it pretty much gave us our original draft, and then this is where the student will rewrite their revised draft. And then the reflection questions are down here at the bottom. So it did a pretty good job at creating this worksheet for us. So now what we can do is we can come up here and we can share it with the students. So if we click on the share button, we can now send it directly to Google Classroom if we want to, just like we did in the other one. And I think since this is a 2-page, it's not going to let us do a template link on this one. I don't think that's going to be one of our choices. So this one you will want to send to the Google Classroom. So it's that simple to use Magic Design. Pretty much you can put any kind of prompt you want in this box, and it will create that design for you. So I hope that you can go back and use this Magic Design. Now we will get back to the second or the end part of our presentation. Thank you. So I'm going to skip number 3. The steps are there because we are getting close to the end of our time. But it is very similar to the doc, creating your doc for your peer review. You're just going to use the Magic Write again, follow those prompt steps, and then get your peer review worksheet. So it's very similar to what we did in number 1. But what I do want to show you is the Magic activities. So let's go back to education and let's try our Magic activity. So if you click on Magic activity, and
and you just decide like what kind of activity, of course, that you want to do. So I would like it to do, I'm just going to look here at the activity library, and there are some different writing activities. Let's try, I think there was let's do some creative writing. So let's here put our topic about our community. I know we study that in social studies. Let's pick maybe 4th grade. Now, if you notice, the K through 4, the quality may vary. So it does a better job with the upper grades, but I'm going to select K through 4, and I'm going to select social studies. And let's see what activity it creates for us. So right now you can see here it's generating. While it is generating, this was the activity I created right before this session with the same prompt. And it had the activity. It gives you all the steps as a teacher guide. And then let's get started. Now it tells you like remove some of this area before you share it with the students. It's more, like the teacher steps. But this will give you a whole activity that might help with writing or generating some activity ideas for the students. They might get some, if they need help with the writing. Now let's see if it gets back. See if it created the same or something different. Looks pretty much the same. It's a little bit different, but I have different story ideas. And it just gives like some ideas that the students can troubleshoot, brainstorm a little bit, and help with their writing. So Canva has so many tools, and I'm sorry that the magic design wasn't working for us today. But if you do go back to education and you are wanting to see all the activities, if you go to all here, see all, you can search by different subjects. If you are, not just teaching writing, you can do a lot of different things with Canva. And then you can share this with your students. They have a template to start with, and they're be able to design and work through Canva. So I think this would be a neat way for them to do some revising and editing on those worksheets that you're going to be sharing with them. And then they can try out the Magic Write to look for the different prompts, like, the synonyms, and asking the AI to help it create a better sentence, or what do you think about this sentence? They can ask the Magic Write, and just to get some tips with their writing. So hopefully you'll go out and enjoy using the Canva and creating some of these activities. Are there any questions? Thank you so much for coming. Stick around because we're going to have a raffle for some door prizes.
All right, here we go. Debbie, great job. Let me share my sound and see if there's any sound that will play. I don't remember. No, I didn't put any sound in there. This is my little cute name picker that I created. And Ms. Anadelia Leos. Again, Ms. Leos, congratulations. Let's go to Vegas. I'll be sending you a door prize.
Yes, we should.
One of our lucky winners.
Thank you so much, everyone, for attending, and have a great rest of your Monday.